What's going on TikTok? XL804. I'm here to do some more Tarkov talk. As you can see, I want to talk about Reserve today. And before I get started, just real fast, I want to say that I have a playlist that you can go through if you want to check out the other maps. I plan on going over all of them. Just swipe to the right, hit the Tarkov talk playlist to see those. All right, I'm going to go kind of fast because there's a lot to go through. So please bear with me if I leave out any details. All right, so sorry about that. All right, so I want to talk about the bunker. The bunker is probably my favorite part of the map. I love all the PvP that happens in the offices, fighting down the long tunnels. It's all great. You can have raiders spawn down here. You got like one group right here when you come in, or they could be anywhere technically. They could be anywhere. But then after you kill them, you can flip the switch and you can fight them a second time. And you get all that gear, XP, ammo, grenades, heals. Sometimes they have a hex grid on them, and it's good loot. You kill them and you make your way out, and there's tons of weapons crates, boxes down here that you can hit to. And if a combination of two, you can just make your way to D2 and you could be out the door, so I do like that. I will say that the downside of the bunker, and there's a marked room down here. There's a marked room down here as well, but the loot down there is not good. I think it's weird that this map has 3 marked rooms, the other one being up here and the other one being way down here behind the train station. I think it's weird that this map has 3 marked rooms and the loot is pretty bad. I mean, that's all marked rooms, but you would think that this map having 3, that one of them would be good, but no. The best one is on a map that only has a single marked room, which is the customs, which is weird. But anyway, the only other downside to the bunker is just that people like to camp these entry points. If you try to jump across the water, somebody could be waiting for you. If you try to come down the stairs, someone could be waiting for you. If you try to come down the ramp, the person could be waiting for you. Down here, you could have someone looking this way as you try to come down the steps, waiting for you. If you try to come down the ramp right here, someone could be waiting for you as well. People could be waiting for you with the sandbags, watching the steps. It's just because it's a bunker, there's a lot of choke points, so people love to set up camp and just wait for you to come through those doors and beam you. So you have to be really careful with peeking out to see if someone's there. You got to throw nades to get in there. It's doable, but it's kind of annoying. But if you kind of come into the bunker with no opposition and you're just running around rotating and getting your PvP on, it's a great experience. It's going to be a hot spot pretty much the entire wipe, and that's what I love about it. All right, going to move away from this part of the map. The main buildings don't really have that much loot in my opinion. Nothing worth really talking about. There are locked doors in these buildings, but it feels like they've nerfed the map quite a bit to where it's just like, it's okay loot, but it's nothing to talk about. It's just there. If you're passing through, you might hit it, but you're not going to go out of your way. Same thing with K buildings, same thing with night buildings. The dome does have some safes up here, which is really nice. There's like nothing out here in these fields. The train station has a few boxes. The marked room is trash. I will say that the food depot down here has cages. The cages have a lot of loot, a lot of crates that you can hit, and you can walk out with a lot of money just hitting the crates only and just going straight to extract. So if you want to farm this map for loot, that's like really the only spot that I would recommend hitting if you can't get down to the bunker. So loot is just kind of mid. It's you'll make money, but it's not like, it shouldn't be your go-to place. With that being said, let's move to the next thing. I talked about raiders in the bunker. Let's talk about the other raider spawns, because this map can have up to 4 raider spawns, which kind of makes it unique. Labs has way more raiders, but Labs is a whole different story. But the only other map to have raiders is this map. So with that being said, unless it's an event. So you can hit the switch right here and it'll spawn the alarm, which will trigger raiders to spawn down here. They'll spawn in, they'll go out, they'll come up here somewhere in the K buildings. Train comes in as well, and they can be right there. It's nice that you have multiple raiders that you can kill, get the loot and stuff, and get out. And they're good XP. Same thing with Gluhar, which is the red skulls right here. Gluhar, I like fighting him. He's my favorite scav boss. I love that he has like 67 guards and it's like all out war trying to fight them. But that being said, the spawns for him are kind of rough on this map, because like if you spawn down here in this corner, he could be right here on this corner, he could be in this building, and like you pretty much, if you run the wrong way, like you could be out of the raid in less than a minute. Like you don't stand a chance if they spawn right here and they push across these fields. You are just donezo. Same thing over here, train station or K buildings. If he's in K buildings, they usually hang out like right at the front, and of course as a player you're gonna run out and you're gonna run this way, you're gonna try to pass through this area, and Gluhar and then will spot you, and it's the exact same story. Same thing if you come up here, you try to pass through. Gluhar usually hangs out like right here. He might be like in these buildings. I mean, he could technically be back here behind these buildings too. But you pass through and your raid could be over so fast it's not even funny. The only spot that's really safe from Gluhar is up here at the dome. But if you try to run down the hill, they could technically spot you and they will light you up from here. So Gluhar, I feel like in order to fix that, what they should do is they just, other than train station right here, scoot his spawn back to like be guaranteed like right here. Scoot him back over here so maybe spawns in the front of this building. That way these players have a chance to get into the buildings and not get gunned down by him. I think that would help a ton. And then under the bunker, it's not that bad. It's kind of, you can tell if he's down here. His guards would be like at the bottom of each ramp, and it's pretty easy. So he's pretty easy to avoid down there. Yeah, okay. Moving on to the next thing here. Let's talk about the player spawns. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I just want to say that this map is like infamous for spawning in, taking 3 steps, and dying to the person to your left or your right. The map is just so small and so condensed that, like, just look at all these arrows. These are all potential player spawns. It is so easy to die. I think it'd be really good if they just kind of cut like every other spawn to where players aren't so stacked on top of each other anymore. That way, you know, you can run without having to worry about dying. I think if they just reduce the spawns or spread them out a little bit more, that would make it great. But yeah, map is infamous for that. The last thing I want to, or not the last, second to last thing I want to talk about is the extracts. Extracts on this map are rough. You have D2, which is a rat's heaven. You have to pass through so many different spots, and there's so many camping and hiding spots that I don't even want to talk about it. But it's just very easy to get camped on your way down here. After you kill Gluhar, the raiders, players, you get all your loot and you come down here and you die to a guy hiding in the corner of impact nade. It's a terrible feeling, and D2 was like 80% of the reason why people don't play this map. The other extracts are just as bad, but not as bad. Having to flip the switch or run across the map sucks because you could have raiders, you got Gluhar, there's an alarm that goes off for 4 minutes, so everybody knows that you're running over there to that part of the map. Player scavs start spawning in by the time you do that, and player scavs will be waiting for you. It kind of sucks. Sewer manhole is not bad, but you have to drop your bag, so most people won't do that because they're coming in to loot, get kills. The only people who will take sewer manhole are basically questers. Red Rebel is good. It's probably one of the safest extracts. The only thing is that there's a price gate that keeps you from playing the map or getting it, because you have to buy it for 4 mil or collect all the barter items, and then you can take it. And then on top of that, you have to factor in wearing body armor versus an armored tactical rig, and that's kind of a small headache, but I will gladly take Red Rebel over all the other extracts. But until you get Red Rebel, you probably won't want to play the map. The last thing I'll say is that I think that there's an issue with all the players that want to hit these buildings right here. A lot of players like to hit these buildings and go straight underneath, right? So like after the first 5 to 7 minutes, it can be very hard to find someone who's above ground on this map. You might find someone above ground if they try to take D2, but they're campers, so they decided to come up and hit the button. That's like the only time you'll really see players, or maybe someone hit the buildings and they're going up and they're going towards Red Rebel. I feel like those are only other times I see players on this map, above ground. So I really feel like maybe the solution to that would be to just time lock the doors. That way you have to wait 5 to 7 minutes before you can go down into D2, and that'll keep players above ground and have them in the buildings, and you can get that sweet building PvP that used to exist before the expansion happened. But alright, that's going to do it. I'm trying to keep this short as I can, and the video's kind of already long. I'm sorry about that. If you liked it though, please consider dropping a like, maybe a follow for me. Please comment anything you feel like I missed, or like anything you'd like to see added. And that's all I had for you, so have a good day or night depending on where you are. Peace.